After the first Superman trailer released back in December of 2024, I had mixed emotions, ranging from hopeful to confused, and in some ways being left disappointed. It certainly didn't help that our very first glimpse of the new Superman was lying face down in defeat, Yamcha style.
I do not know what this Yamcha is, but it sounds disappointing.
And for those who aren't aware, is a character from the Dragon Ball franchise who was wildly joked about in the fanbase as being a disappointing failed fighter throughout the series. So if things don't pan out for Superman here, then maybe he'll have a promising career as a baseball player. Now, it's important to keep an open mind about a movie until you've actually seen it in its entirety, but as more and more of it came to light, I found myself feeling less and less hopeful about its future and lacking confidence that it'll actually be a good movie. I'll explain my reasoning why in this video, but I'll try to be optimistic and keep my negatives to a moderate setting. With that out of the way, let's put on our tight red spandex and flex our nuts. First, let's talk about the good, which is a relatively short list. Based on the trailers, this version of Superman seems more old-fashioned, and it gets more in touch with the character's roots and goes back to a style and charm that represents a simpler time, a style that represents the Christopher Reeves era of the character. It's clear that James Gunn is trying to have a brighter and more colorful interpretation here compared to Snyder's vision. It seems like the kind of movie you could take your kids to see without really worrying about them getting bored or having complex ideas or themes go over their heads, which is something I can both respect and I think a lot of parents will appreciate. I can't really say much more than that, and as I said, the positives I can offer is a short list, but I'm sure that will change once the movie is officially released in July. Now, let's move on to the negatives. From what has been shown so far, Superman seems miserable, impatient, and lacks emotional restraint. We can see that Lois Lane is getting a bit of a rise out of him just by asking some relatively basic questions in an interview.
Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny?
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman. Did you consult with the president?
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of the United States.
I wasn't representing anybody except for me.
And I feel like Superman is supposed to be above petty human emotions and almost stoic in nature. But Lois Lane simply asking to explain his actions appears to really upset him, or at the very least is annoying him. On top of this, Superman is supposed to be uplifting and inspires hope. While we can see some examples of this, like the kid holding up the flag, but it's done in a way that's mawkishly sentimental, and I have a feeling that the emotions on display will fail to carry over into the audience. Then there's Lex Luthor, who kind of resembles Agent 47 here, is one of DC's most charismatic villains, whose super intellect and skills of master manipulation make him a threat to the Justice League. But in the trailers, he seems like such a whiner.
Superman. He's not a man. He's an it. He's somehow become the focal point of the entire world's conversation.
They chose him. Let them die.
Granted, he seems better than the Jesse Eisenberg's take on the character, but that's a pretty low bar to clear. Lastly, the makeup and CGI shown so far seems weaker than they were in Man of Steel, a film that was released more than a decade ago. I mean, why does Superman's black eyes and bruises make him look like he's suffering from iron deficiency? He looks like Johnny Depp's Sweeney Todd, who hasn't gotten a good night's sleep in 15 years. And of course, it wouldn't be a James Gunn film without there being jokes sprinkled across the board.
Hey, quit messing around.
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
Most of which probably won't work as well as they did in Guardians of the Galaxy, at least for a Superman movie. But I guess people wouldn't be enjoying themselves unless they were laughing. Isn't that right, James? Again, these are just first impressions and should be taken with a grain of salt. I'll be happy to admit that I'm wrong, or I should say, if I'm wrong, when the movie is officially out. But I just figured I'd call it now just in case I'm right in the future. I remember watching the Godzilla -1 trailer, and I knew for a fact that it was going to be the best Godzilla movie ever made, but I have no way of proving that now, do I? So I just didn't want to make the same mistake. I am confident that whether this movie is good or bad, that it'll do very well financially and get plenty of positive reviews by James Gunn's fans who will come out to show their support no matter what. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. Thanks for watching, and be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I hope you all have a good day. Take care.